Welcome back to Deep and Real. In my last video, I was in a very special place to me, and I am in a very special place again today. Last time I was down by a creek at my friend's property, and I talked about connecting to your heart. In this video, I'm actually at the top of a mountain, and I feel closest to God when I am out in nature. And so today, I want to talk to you about connecting to God. We are told our whole lives that our body is a temple. At least in my religion we were. And I learned over the past 2 years that if your body is a temple, then your heart is your holy of holies. In all churches, there is some place where only the highest religious leaders can go. I know in the Greek Orthodox Church, it's back behind where they do their sermons. It's a special room, and that's their holy of holies. Well, my heart would be my holy of holies. The biggest thing to know about that is your connection to God is through your heart. If you are disconnected from your heart, it's very hard to be connected to God. It's hard to feel Him. It's interesting. I realized this last week or two that before I connected to my heart, I didn't know that God would answer me with words. I thought that when I prayed and asked, I would get a yes or no question. If it was yes, my chest would feel warm. And if it was no, I would feel nothing. And I thought that's all there was. I was very wrong. But if that's where you are and you would like to get closer to God, it's completely possible. I did it by working on healing my heart and connecting to my heart. And in connecting to my heart, I started connecting with Him. I do want to tell you also that if you have traumas, it can be hard to connect to your heart. It can stir up some things. You might even have some trauma that God's related to. He doesn't cause trauma, but sometimes we blame Him for trauma that we've had, things that have happened to us. Connecting with your heart and connecting with God might be difficult at first, but I can promise you that He loves you. He loves you more than you could ever comprehend. I would not have believed that until I connected with Him. I'm going to tell you my story about that. I ran from God my whole life. I didn't think He could see me. I didn't think He knew who I was. I didn't think He gave one lick about what Minda was doing wherever she was. I didn't think that I would ever be good enough to go to heaven or be in His presence. I didn't think I'd ever be worthy enough, good enough. I wasn't as good as everyone else that I could see, that I thought. I was comparing myself to everyone, and they all looked so perfect. And I have never been a scriptorian. I haven't read my scriptures. I'm a sporadic prayer. I usually prayed only when I needed something, but I never really talked to Him. I talked at Him and just told Him what I wanted, and I never listened because I didn't know you could. But I got really low. I had COVID, and I spent 14 days in bed. And 14 days in bed alone with your mind, when your mind isn't very kind to you, is a hard place to be. I had constant thoughts of self-degradation. I called them my demons because that's what they felt like. And they were constant. They never stopped. They were always telling me what I did wrong. Always telling me why I wasn't good enough. Always telling me why people didn't like me. And so by the end of this 2 weeks, they had gotten so cruel that I couldn't handle any more, not even one more second of it. I just couldn't take it any longer. And I was in tears. I couldn't stop crying. And I remember that I didn't know what else to do but ask a God I didn't know for some mercy. But I didn't feel like I deserved that mercy. I didn't think I deserved Him to even listen to what I said. And so I didn't dare ask for much. I asked for 5 minutes. I begged Him for 5 minutes of peace. That's all I wanted, just a break so I could just have a moment and recollect myself so that I could handle again. And I didn't think he would hear me. But I can tell you that for the first time in my life, I know that he was holding me. I could feel him holding me, and my mind went silent. And honestly, I didn't even know what to do. I had never had a silent mind. And so I just kind of sat there in shock for quite a few minutes. And then I was like, well, I guess I pull myself together and get up and then I thanked him. In fact, I spent a lot of time that day in very deep gratitude because they didn't come back that day. And that day it was over a year ago, and they're still not back. And so a God I didn't even know, a God I didn't trust, a God that I was disobeying on purpose because I didn't think it mattered, granted me my miracle. So I will praise him with my last breath. I will follow him with all of my heart. I love him to the depths of my soul. I know him very well now. I talk to him all the time. And one way that I learned to talk to God, a very dear friend of mine taught me about letters to God, because I didn't really even know how to pray. I talked to him and that was it. Well, in letters to God, you're writing a letter to him, and it got my mind busy so that it couldn't interject all of its own thoughts. And so as you write, I would just write, Dear God, and tell him whatever I wanted to tell him. And then I would just let my pen go. And I would write down his answers. And his answers come through my heart. It's not like I audibly hear him. I just feel the words. And so I write down whatever I feel that he wants to tell me. And since that day he granted my miracle, I talk to him all the time. Like, I sing to him in my car. I talk to him and thank him anytime I see something that amazes me. That's another thing I want to tell you is he knows you. He knows you personally. He knows what will reach you. He sends me hearts because I love hearts. I will see hearts everywhere. In a cloud, on a sidewalk, in water. Like, it doesn't matter. I'll see them everywhere. And every time I see one that's just out of the blue, doesn't make any sense, I'll just say, love you too. And the more I do that, the more I see them. And I know that's him. Just letting me know he's still there and that he still loves me. And I hope that this helps you. I hope that you try writing letters to God. I hope you know that it doesn't matter what you've done. I'm not going to define sin because everyone has a different idea of what sins are depending on how you were raised and what religion you are in. Like, some religions think some things are sins and others don't. There's some things that are definitely wrong, like killing people. That's definite sin all across the board. Like hurting other people on purpose, sin. But everything else you can think of, I'm not going to tell you one way or another whether it's a sin. But I can tell you, if you can think of something that is a sin to you, I've done it. I've done all the things on purpose. And if he will forgive me for doing things on purpose, he will forgive you. He loves you and he knows who you are. He knows your name. And I hope that you look for him and get a relationship with him. And if you don't believe in God and Jesus like I do, pick a higher power. I cannot even tell you what having that higher power in my life has done for my life. It has helped me find my purpose. It has helped me find my heart. It has helped me find love for me, which I thought was impossible. So I hope this video has helped you even just a little bit. Just know that I'm sending you a lot of love and many hugs today, and that I hope that you are doing well. And thank you for watching my video.